Hey everyone! So today I'm here to review the Clinique Cheek Pop Blushes. They individually retail for $21 US, $24 in Canada, they contain 0.12 ounces of product, and they are available in 12 shades. They are said to be a long-wearing, buildable cheek color that imparts a bright hue. The packaging is a completely transparent, clear plastic compact, which is great considering the product has a very eye-catching, cute daisy design. I really do appreciate the packaging of these blushes, and how they incorporated the product itself into the actual selling point. These blushes, without doubt, have to be the most visually appealing blushes I've ever seen to date. They are absolutely adorable. The formula was consistent in all 12 shades, and application is foolproof as the product blends out incredibly easy on the skin and has excellent buildable color payoff. So whether you like a bold pop of color or a subtle flush of color on your cheeks, these blushes can achieve that. All 12 blushes have a satin finish, which leaves a very soft, luminous sheen to the skin that doesn't emphasize the look of pores or imperfections at all. It just leaves your cheeks looking very youthful and glowing and pretty. Just recently they released 8 new shades into their little collection line, and surprisingly I have all 12 to share with you guys today. Berry Pop is a medium to dark, bright fuchsia with cool undertones and a satin sheen. The texture was soft, velvety, and easy to blend out on the skin. It had excellent pigmentation that could be easily built or sheared out depending on your needs, so this is a shade I can definitely see working on every skin tone. Berry Pop wore well for 8 hours. Cola Pop is a medium to dark burgundy with warm undertones and a satin sheen. This shade had a smooth, velvety texture that blended out easily and evenly on the skin. Even though the shade is darker, it had excellent pigmentation that again could be built or sheared out depending on your needs. Again, this is another shade I can see working on any skin tone. Cola Pop wore well for 9 hours. Fig Pop is a medium to dark coral with hints of orange, warm undertones, and a satin sheen. The texture was soft, smooth, velvety, and blended out very easily on the skin. This was another shade that had rich pigmentation that could easily be built or sheared out depending on your needs. Fig Pop wore well for 9 hours. Ginger Pop is a medium to dark coral with hints of red, warm undertones, and a satin sheen. This shade had a very soft, smooth texture that blended out very easily on the skin. Ginger Pop had excellent pigmentation and wore well for 8 hours. Heather Pop is a light to medium pink with cool undertones and a satin sheen. The texture was soft, velvety, and blended out beautifully. This particular shade wasn't quite as pigmented as some of the other blushes, but the color could still be built easily. Heather Pop wore well for 9 hours. Melon Pop is a light to medium pink with hints of coral, warm undertones, and a satin sheen. This shade was velvety, smooth, and blended out easily on the skin. While the pale nature of this particular blush may not work on darker skin tones, it still had nice pigmentation and it was buildable to a degree, where on fairer or lighter skin tones it'll be a very nice, natural, everyday blush. Melon Pop wore well for 8 hours. Nude Pop is a light to medium peach with hints of brown, warm undertones, and a satin sheen. Once again, the texture was soft, velvety, and blended out easily on the skin. Just like Melon, Nude Pop has a very pale nature to it, so it may not suit deeper complexions, but it will make a great everyday blush for fairer skin tones. Nude Pop had true to pan pigmentation and wore well for 9 hours. Pansy Pop is a light to medium lilac with hints of pink, cool undertones, and a satin sheen. This shade was soft, smooth, and blended out like an absolute dream. Pansy Pop was another blush that wasn't quite as pigmented as the rest of the blushes, but the color could still be built easily and it did leave a nice glow to the skin. Pansy Pop wore well for 8 hours. Peach Pop is a medium to dark coral with hints of pink, warm undertones, and a satin sheen. As you've probably caught on by now, the texture was soft, velvety, and blended out very easily. This shade was another one that had excellent pigmentation that could easily be built or sheared out. Peach Pop wore well for 8 hours. Pink Pop is a light to medium pink rose with cool undertones and a satin sheen. The texture was soft, velvety, and very easy to blend out on the skin. Once again, it had excellent pigmentation that could easily be built or sheared out depending on your needs. Pink Pop wore well for 8.5 hours. Plum Pop is a medium to dark pink berry with cool undertones and a satin sheen. This shade had a smooth, velvety texture that blended out on the skin evenly and easily. It also had rich pigmentation, and it's another one of those shades that I can see working very easily on any skin tone. Plum Pop wore well for 8 hours. Rosy Pop is a medium to dark pink with cool undertones and a satin sheen. This shade was soft, smooth, and blended out on the skin like an absolute dream. It had excellent rich pigmentation that could easily be built or sheared out depending on your needs. Rosy Pop wore well for 8 hours. And there is all 12 shades of the Clinique Cheek Pop Blushes for you. Do I sound like a broken record yet? The answer is probably yes. So overall, Clinique really hit the mark with these blushes. No matter what shades you decide to pick up, the quality and performance won't vary. Like I said previously in the video, whether you like a bold pop of color or a subtle flush of color, these blushes can really easily achieve that. These blushes truly are a win-win product for everyone, and I do highly recommend checking them out. They are probably, honestly, my favorite blush. So be sure to let me know in the comments below if you've tried these blushes before, which shades have caught your eye, or if you're actually planning on picking any of them up. As always, don't forget to check out my blog for more details, photos, and swatches, as well as like, comment, and subscribe to show your support. If you'd like to give me a follow, I will have all of my social media listed here, as well as down in the description. As I always say, I hope you found this review helpful, and I hope that you have a fantastic day, and thank you so much for watching.